Hi all, Andy here and welcome back to the channel where it's something a little bit different today as I'm off to see two friends of the channel, Cleugh, who you may know from one of the videos on the track car, and also Martyn Scott as they compete in a local racing league at Brands Hatch. Martyn has kindly invited me along today and left the ticket for me on the gate. Hopefully today's going to give me in the pits access to some of the cars and the drivers. I can take a wander around, chat to a few people and see what goes on to make a racing team on the domestic circuit. For those that don't know, Brands Hatch is a motor racing circuit nestled in the countryside here in the UK along the edge of the North Downs. It has previously hosted 12 instalments of the British Formula 1 Grand Prix from 1964 to 1986, with the final F1 race being won by British motor racing legend Nigel Mansell in the Williams FW11. The circuit has two configurations: the longer Grand Prix circuit, which I rode around last year on my road bike as part of an 8-hour charity relay race, and the shorter Indy circuit that is being used for races featuring the classic and modern motorsport southern section today. So walking through the pits here, it's not quite as glamorous as you'd imagine Formula 1 to be, but there's cars coming from everywhere. You have to have your wits about you at all times. Yeah, I was expecting to be actually in the pits at the edge of the track, but now you're in the paddock out the back. Not many motorsport formulas that give you such up close and personal access to the cars, as this was the qualifying just finishing for the Super Saloons. Unfortunately, Lee had experienced issues with the single Mk1 TT Racing today after it had stalled and refused to start while on its way through the pit lane. So I caught up with Lee to see what had been going on with the car since it had experienced an oil fire at a previous race earlier this season. So let's see what's different since the fire. So how much did you lose, Lee, under here? Did you lose any hoses or?
I lost the N75 went, right. The DV went, all the hoses across the back went, and a big bunch of wiring.
Okay.
But nothing major.
No.
It's like 10-minute fix.
New bonnet vent? New bonnet vent?
I stuck that in the other day because it's just getting so hot in here at the moment.
You see it making a difference in the heat?
First time out with it, so I'm going to say no, purely for the fact that when I come in the pit lane, it died. But on the gauge, I'm only 99 to 100 on the temperatures now.
Right.
Put a bit of hose in there as well. So hopefully that should throw air straight out the program.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, so nice cool air coming anyway. Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it?
I want to go through the headlight.
So you're using that as like an air intake, for the program. Well, on a day like today when it's so warm, you're going to struggle to get cold air into it, won't you? So. It's also interesting to see the different level of teams and budgets competing in the same race. What is also great to see is that everyone in these formulas are here to support and help each other, mechanically and emotionally. Something that really impressed me was there was lots of parts and fixes being donated between the teams to keep people running. When is a TT not a TT? Well, when it is this car. Looked like one from a distance and it fooled me, but it was simply a wrap over a kit that was shaped a bit like a TT. Not one I'd seen before, but thought I would show it here. Martyn Scott's BMR team were running 5 cars on the day, including a classic Sapphire Cosworth and some racy looking BMWs. The intake on Paul Watson's Beamer caught my eye, so I asked him to walk and talk me around his car. What have you done to this one then?
It was a built engine from Jeff Steele. I've just refreshed it. Damaged the crank in it, so I had to put a new crank in it. So it's had a refresh.
Yeah.
Basically big intake which can swallow small children.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
And then straight through exhaust, no cats, nothing, just a rear silencer on it. It's been devanosed as well. Running different injectors, special coils for a better spark.
And you reckon about 390, yeah? Out of that?
390 brake, yeah. High. It's got higher comp pistons as well in it. Yeah. Usually these run about 180 psi per cylinder. This is running about 220, so it's about 40 psi up. So higher comp pistons. Yeah, and just mapped on a standard ECU.
Bit of a monster.
Yeah, it's not bad. Goes all right.
And in your class, it pretty much holds its own by the look of it?
Yeah, it's one of the, I'd say it's probably one of the front runners in my class.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really good. But I've got to pedal it. It's not just a car, you've got to be able to pedal it.
So, are you hopeful for this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, I've qualified 4th. I think I'm 2nd in class. So I'm hoping to hold that sort of area. Maybe sneak a podium from the start, but I don't know. They're quicker boys in front of me, so I might be able to nab one on the start, but keeping them behind me is going to be hard work.
Nice one. Well, good luck anyway.
Thank you very much.
With the pace car leading the cars around on the parade lap for the first race, we get to see some of the runners. Paul in his orange BMW sitting in 4th. Slightly further back in 11th in his rapid Polo is Martyn in its easy to spot green livery. Slightly further back again we get to see Lee in his Mk1 TT. The race saw Alex Sidwell holding his pole qualifying, and my position on the outside of Druids captured the cars thundering into the hairpin and disappearing down into Graham Hill Bend. Closely followed by favourite and Brands Hatch legend Rod Burley in 2nd. Paul Watson was up into 3rd also. It must have been my pre-race interview spurring him on. Martyn Scott was holding position in his class, but there was no sign of Lee. It looks like his race had come to a premature end due to a mechanical in the pit lane. Moving to the inside of Druids gives some great 180-degree sweep shots with the camera as the cars swung around the corner and headed off down to complete another lap of the Brands Hatch Indian track. Depending on the cars in this series, it takes between 50 seconds and 1 minute to complete a circuit.
Well, what a crazy day at Brands it's been. I've learned a lot today about running your own race car, and I've noticed there's an awful lot of heartbreak with running your own race car. Lots of different standard of teams as well. You know, people that are making these cars run themselves on an absolute minimal budget, and they tend to break down, as we've noticed. There seems to be more non-running cars than running cars, which I think is just part of it. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon. Take care.